Hello everyone, and we're back for another episode of Stinkbricks Originals.
And for today's episode, I will be featuring the LEGO Compatible Custom PARACERATHERIUM. But first of all, I'd like to thank YouTube.com Audio Library for this awesome background music. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe, and also hit that notification button. Just click on the icons below. Thanks everyone! The winners of the Guess This PC contest will be announced at the end of the video, but for now, here's how to join. Just click on the Extinct Bricks icon and then click on the community link to be able to see all my posts. Alright, so let's get started with the video. So this is the PARACERATHERIUM custom that I made, and Moira here is excited to join me present this PARACERATHERIUM to you guys. I've always wanted to have the PARACERATHERIUM in line with my Mega Fauna collection, and this one is a dream come true to me. This PARACERATHERIUM is actually based from the Prehistoric Kingdom PARACERATHERIUM, and a lot of input and interpretation from my side as well. Moira will be coming back later for the size comparisons, but for now, let us have a closer look. Now, there are several things that I wanted to show you regarding this figure, and one of them is that this figure can actually open its mouth. See, this particular piece is actually from the Mini Raptors. I wanted it to have some jaw action, especially when it's trying to eat from the top leaves of some trees. So aside from that, it can also move its head like so, and it's very dynamic. You can twist it around and make lots of positions to it and poses. The neck is pretty much similar to that of the base figure, which is the giraffe, so it can move down as much as this one, and it can actually browse on low-lying bushes. And it can also look up, so it can reach out to higher treetops. The studs in the back consisted of a 2x4 base plate, and it has this lighter coloration to it compared to the entire body. It also has this speckling on the front from the neck down to its arms. The legs are also darkened and with whitened nails as well. The legs are articulated from the front and the back side, and you can actually pose it in different ways, such as this, walking position and also the standing position. The tail piece is also rubberized, and you can pose it in some ways. The base colors are actually from that of a rhinoceros, but I added some more speckles as for to add dimension and also color to the figure itself. Now it is time for us to have the size comparisons, and Moira is here to help us with it. So here is Moira, a regular size minifigure beside the PARACERATHERIUM, or Indricotherium if you want to call it. So here is the size comparison based on skeletal form reconstructions, and you can see that it's quite similar to that of a minifigure compared to this custom of mine. Now let's put them far away because we want to compare it with some of the mega fauna creatures that I already have. Okay, so let's start with the first creature. So since the PARACERATHERIUM is a rhinoceros, I wanted it to be compared with this Elasmotherium. So you can see that, of course, the PARACERATHERIUM, being the largest terrestrial mammal during that time, is definitely larger than that of the Elasmotherium. I do plan to have several more prehistoric rhinoceros on my collection, so please comment below or suggest of your species so that maybe we can consider them on the next custom. So here's the Smilodon, or the saber-toothed cat, compared to that of the PARACERATHERIUM and the Elasmotherium. You can see definitely that this is much smaller than both figures combined. Alright, so having them in line together, you can see that there's a small, medium, and of course the large one. Now, Mara is going to move a little bit because we want to make way for one of my large megafauna creature customs. Here is the woolly mammoth, or Ramuthus primigenius. You may have remembered him from the DGX adventures, and here it is compared side by side with the Paraceratherium. Of course, definitely the mammoth is a little bit smaller than that of the Paraceratherium, but in terms of body mass, I think the woolly mammoth is bulkier than that of the Indricotherium or the Paraceratherium. Okay, now it is time for us to compare as well with other prehistoric megafauna creatures that I made. So here's the quagga. And now we already have 5 creatures on the screen with you. So we have here the quagga, the Paraceratherium, the woolly mammoth, the Smilodon, and the Elasmotherium. Alright, so I'm not satisfied yet, so let's throw in this Sporus racus, or my terror bird. Of course, since we already have a big bird here, I'll already throw in these two, my dodos, or the Rapus cuculatus. Okay, so we have here the dodo, the quagga, the Sporus racus, Paraceratherium, the woolly mammoth, the Smilodon, and the Elasmotherium. Yay! So many already, but I want to have some more. Please comment in below which other prehistoric megafauna creatures you want. But now it is time for us to do a sunbrick. Now this custom figure all in all has 6 pieces to it. So let's start with the head. Let's connect it to the neck part of the body. Now it's time for us to connect the legs. Let's start with the front ones. The left, and then the right one. Then let's complete it off with the legs from behind, or the hind legs. So let's start with the right, and then let's finish it off with the left. And that completes the figure, the Paraceratherium. Now it's time for Extinct Bricks at Work, where I show some footages and photos of when I was making this particular figure. So here I did a rough sketch of the Paraceratherium and wanted to have this giraffe bootleg as my base figure. So I cut everything out so that I'll have the pieces to work on. So it's quite a bit messy and it looks very surgical. So I decided to kick bash on several items here. I used raptor legs and also this Ghidorah head figure part, so that there are more articulations to this custom of mine. I also extended the body and also make the body more robust in a way so it looks more in keeping with the actual animal itself. And here is the figure, is stuffed with some paper and also with glue stick. I wanted to have a little bit of bulkiness before I use the clay. I do this so that the figure won't be so heavy and I won't be using much of the sculpting materials for it. And here I am just rubbing out my fingers so that I make sure that the figure is actually smooth when it is done. Okay, so having the completed sculpt here, I did a lot of wet sanding, and after that I already primered it with Bosley number 68 gray and started on with the base colors. Now the base color is actually really hard to mix, as there's a lot of things to consider, so I added a lot of white, black, as well as browns and yellows, and a little bit of green as well, just to achieve this particular color. Now from that mix, I just added the shading so that I would be able to use it as the darker gray for the speckles. Then I adjusted accordingly so that I will be using them for the back portion, which is the lighter colors on the back as well as that of the base plate and the tail. Since the Paraceratherium is technically a big rhinoceros without horns, I wanted it to have that dried clay look on the back portion, so I wanted to have the lighter gray colors on the back, extending to the tail with a little bit of speckling for a little bit more dimension for this figure. After which, I just added several more details including the eyes and the nails, and then that finishes off the figure. Before we end the video, it's time for some last looks. Paraceratherium is an extinct genus of hornless rhinoceros. It is one of the largest terrestrial mammals that have existed and lived from the early to late Oligocene epoch. Paraceratherium name means near the hornless beast, in reference to a ceratherium. It is also sometimes called Indricotherium or sometimes Balusatherium. The exact size of Paraceratherium is unknown because of the incompleteness of the fossils. The shoulder height was about 4.8 meters or 15.7 feet, and the length is about 7.4 meters or 24.3. Indeed, the largest terrestrial mammal at that time. And that ends the video. I hope you like it. Moira here is just preparing the enclosure for the Paraceratherium when the guest arrives. There is a lot of work to be done, such as picking out the weeds and also checking if there is a lot of enrichment activities for the Paraceratherium for the guests to view. And now it is time to announce the Guest Species Contest winners. And due to the overwhelming support that you have, we will be having 5 additional lucky picks for today. And here they are: Lurley Kimbaya, Ray Hoskins, Rich Student Kyle, Caleb Monk, and Brandon Cruz. Congratulations everyone! And now here are the top 10 winners.
Top 10.
Derek Tate,
Top 9.
John Menkin, Victor Diaz,
Top 7.
Albert Hoop,
Top 6.
Crispy Critter,
Top 5.
Lucky You, Spistaka,
Top
Stefan
4.
Luziani,
Top
Jim
3.
Bucket's Channel,
Top 2.
Inga W, and
Top
Bizarre
1.
Mars.
1.
Congratulations everyone! Our babies Asher and Moira has their own vlog now, The Adventures of Moira and Asher. They put up their first video and I hope you also support that. Please also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and here in YouTube. And as we always would say, let your inner dino break roar!